All right, folks, so on my 2004 Chevy Silverado, and we're having a code for a P0172 and a 175 Bank 1, Bank 2 rich code. I believe there's the correct codes on it. I'll correct on the screen if I'm wrong. But in a nutshell, the truck is running real rich to the point that it goes to -20 and it cuts off. So I did check my mass airflow sensor, and that's running fine. You want it to measure engine displacement or higher. So if you had a 4.8, you want it to be at least a 4.8. You do not want it to go below engine displacement. As long as you're above that 4.8, the mass airflow sensor is pretty much good. Now, if it's a ridiculous number on idle, obviously check it, but we're well within range. And if it was reading below 4.8, typically you could take them out, clean them, spray them with some mass airflow cleaner, and that does bring them back around. Or sometimes you have to replace them. If you got to replace them, OEM, that's the only way to go. But in this case, I know my mass airflow sensor is good. New O2 sensors, because I did have one go bad, and the truck is tuned up. But what I found was going on is the charcoal canister. So my first symptom was that the charcoal canister going bad was that I go to fill it up with gas and it would click right away, and it'd take forever to fill it up. And typically the charcoal canister has like the charcoal in it. It absorbs all the fumes for the fuel. And then the way the system, and this is just a quick and dirty method of going over how it works, all the excess fumes get sent into the intake manifold to be burnt off. But because the charcoal canister is so saturated and junk, it's dumping tons of extra fumes into the intake manifold, causing a rich condition. Because what I went ahead and did, and primarily I did this because right now if I run it normal stock, the truck will actually cut off while driving, and my fuel trims will go to -20. You got to have a quick, easy, dirty scanner to kind of help you diagnose this. But I went ahead and I unplugged it from here and unplugged it from here. By doing that, my fuel trims are pretty much close to zero. And let's go ahead and take a look at it. So the long-term fuel trims are 0.8, 0.1, 0.6, which is pretty good. And my short-term should be close to that. So 0.8, 0.8. So we're pretty much great fuel trims. Now watch as I go ahead, open this up, throw in the valve, plug that back in, which is going to suck up all the nasty raw fumes from the charcoal canister because it is severely oversaturated. And take a look at my fuel trims. My fuel trims are going up. -10, -9.4. Short terms, yeah, 0.2, 0.4. So we're at -11 fuel trim, which is not good. And eventually, if you leave it like that long enough, it hits -20. The truck runs like junk and just starts cutting off. So let's go ahead, let's unplug this. Pop in this cap. Now, the cap is mostly so don't get dirty or junk in there, but the cap is closed when it's not plugged in, or the valve is closed when it's not plugged in. But after doing that, our fuel trims are starting to go back to normal. -1.6, -2.3. Our short term, 0.08. So we're starting to get close to, which is what you want. Now, you do have some leeway, plus or minus 10, but you want to get as close to zero as possible. If you're a little between there, I mean, it could be ignition, all that other type of stuff, but either way, you don't want to be plus or minus 10. This shoots up to -20 because it's sucking in all those fumes from the charcoal canister. So in a nutshell, we have to replace the charcoal canister. Now, in case you're wondering, is it the canister or is it this valve? Pretty much this valve is a 2-wire valve, negative and a positive. It opens and closes as sent command by the computer. And what you can do is just take like a 9-volt battery, add negative, positive in it, see if it just opens and closes, click it. If it's clicking, open and close, holding the vacuum and not getting stuck, it's fine. So it's a very simple valve. But in this case, valve is good, rest of the engine is good, charcoal canister is bad. And like I said, my first symptom was that it was giving me a click. Put a little bit of gas in it, clicks, and you can be there all day doing it. So what I need to do is order the charcoal canister. I got one from Rock Auto. It was about $60, $70. Should be here tomorrow, and we're gonna swap out the charcoal canister and make sure our engine is good to go. Now you might say, well, just don't run it or kind of leave it alone. Well, because this truck is 20-year-old in my state, I don't have to do safety emissions. But the other thing is too, is you don't want those fumes open. Leaving that open, it can get sucked into the cab. Yeah, I just don't want those fumes. It smells pretty bad because it's extremely rich, because that thing is so saturated. So I'd rather fix it right, not deal with the fumes, or take the chance. So tomorrow, hopefully I should get the part in and we'll swap it out. Next day, delivery. We got parts. Get this thing out. Double check it. So I got this from Rock Auto. I think it was like 60 bucks. Wasn't too terrible. It's Ultra Power. It had a heart next to it, so frequently bought. Now I was gonna try to go with the original, and typically I go with original for most stuff, but that was really expensive. And this definitely should be a lot better than what I have there. And even if I only get 1 year out of it, still better. But yeah, quite heavy. Feels good. Got this one draining. Oil change time. 5,000 miles, of course. And from what I remember, there's a bolt right over here, which I think was a 10mm. There's a couple of plugs, and typically you got to fight with these things, but I took them out last time, and I was able to actually pull out the charcoal. So hopefully they shouldn't be too hard to get out. So let me go ahead and do that. We got it out. And once you take out that bolt, which is like right over here, you slide it this way towards the fuel tank, and you kind of MacGyver it and twist it, and eventually comes out this way, right through here, but not bad. And the best way I found to do it is disconnect this, which is a hose that goes into the fuel tank, which is, can I show it? Right over here. Kind of see those blue tabs right over there, and then just disconnect it right there, which is another tab that comes into the fuel tank, and you just squeeze it. As you can see, releases it, and then the other one, you squeeze the other one and it releases it. So let's get this out of here. Alright, so first thing is, let's get these off. Definitely have to save that one. And the same thing with this. Squeeze, wiggle. All right. Let's see. How does this come out? Like that. Just kind of throw it in there. Bingo. Yeah. And this thing is so crusty. I really wish I had spray paint to clean it, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Alright, this will work off camera. Transferred over these hoses. Had to pull off the blue thing just to snap that in, but yeah, looks better. This will go and be gone. And as far as this rusty crusty thing, sanded it up and spray painted it silver. Probably will slow down the inevitable. Would have been nice if I had some spray paint that stops the whole corrosion or rust thing, but you do the best with what you got. And it's good enough for who it's for. That's me. So now we gotta slide you in. Okay, that was painless. Nice. And you, there we go. Cool. Let's take this to the truck. Not a good spot to set up the camera, but you know. Let's see. Actually, I think right over here, this open area, is where I'm going to have to do it. Okay, part one done. Seems like it's a lot easier to put it in than take it out. Famous last words. Probably should not have left these hoses in like this. Now that I think about it. I'm just like almost there. There we go. Just got to get above that muffler. That's it. Nice. Let's go ahead and, pop that in. Nice click. So I'll go ahead and get my long bolt. Now, I know I said this was like a 10. I think it was. And I changed this bolt or something to that effect. But yeah, not a 10. Mine is a 13. So that part. Now I'm going to take this hose and plug it in right back there, which I'll snap that in just a sec. And there we go. Snap that in. Now what I did do is all the O-rings for that, put a little bit of a silicone paste, make them seal a little better and slide in. So my recommendation. All right, so I got to snap that one in, screw that in. Then we can fire this thing up and check our fuel trims. Now we got to record our fuel trims and make sure this thing is not reaching out on me. So we need to plug back in the purge valve, evap, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called, but we got to plug that back in. So this is the new one. Plug in the connector. Take that out. Slap that in. there is a clip there, which I need to go find. And this is the thing too, if you've diagnosed it and you know your charcoal canister is just, super saturated with fuel fumes and all that type of stuff, unplug this, it makes the truck drivable. The only way I've been able to drive the truck is by having this unplugged, and my fuel trims have been perfect. But the minute I plug it back in, no bueno. Now hopefully it shouldn't take too long to go back into closed loop. I did drive this truck like 70 miles this morning. Alright, so we are in open loop. Fuel trim on the long term, negative 2.3 and 0. Short term, 2.3. So our fuel trim is good right now. Alright, this hasn't kicked on yet, so we're not venting or purging. Because when it starts doing that, this thing makes a racket and click noise like non-stop. Kind of annoying, actually. So we gotta wait until it goes into closed loop. That's usually when it starts doing that. All right, so just came back from a quick test drive. Negative 4.7 on the long term. Short term, about 0. It's fluctuating a little bit. But I can live with negative 4.7. Typically, you want plus or minus, no more than plus or minus 10, closest to 0 as possible. But I think what will fix that is a fresh oil change and new spark plugs, because I have driven this with a rich condition for probably 1,000 miles at least. I'm pretty sure that oil is a little gassy, along with those spark plugs being a little fouled a little bit. But I can live with this for now. And then probably in about a week or two, I'll go ahead and take care of the rest. But truck runs good, no hesitations, a lot smoother, and it's not missing. So let's wrap this up. Now this truck, and this is why I love these older vehicles, it's such a simpler system, but some vehicles is a little more complicated, and you need to have a bidirectional scanner to kind of activate the valves and kind of purge it, and it's a little bit of a headache. This is why I like this old stuff. If you have a poor running vehicle with a rich condition, hard to fill up, that it clicks at the pump, probably charcoal canister. So hope this video helps. Thanks for watching.